Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. My name is Mystic Powers, and I am here to bring you yet another one. So let's move right on into it. Now, we are in the shadow of the full moon that was in Aries, okay? So we're still being affected by the full moon, but this is the energy of the waning gibbous. Exiting Aries, entering Taurus. So we're exiting Aries energy and entering into Taurus energy. And so I pulled these 3 oracle cards right here. And I'm going to explain to you what they mean individually, but I'm going to first explain to you what I was picking up when I pulled them. Okay. When I went into meditation to fully understand, because these are new cards, and understanding this particular deity and every aspect of this particular deity, it does require me to go into meditation after I pull. So when I went into meditation, I was shown, and bear with me, I was shown a cabbage patch field, right? And I was being shown Cabbage Patch Kids being born, right? But I was seeing these Cabbage Patch Kids being cradled by like silhouettes of bright lights, okay? And when I asked what the bright lights was about, okay, it was explained to me that the bright lights were physical manifestations of the Mahadeva. And the Mahadeva, which is referring into the Divine Mother. So each one of these Cabbage Patch Kids, but it wasn't a Cabbage Patch. It had the everything like a Cabbage Patch, but the flower was the lotus. This particular lotus right here. Okay? And like each child was cradled into hands, right? Both the flower and the child. So what I asked what was happening to the child and everything, because light is just beaming through the fingers here up into the child. It was explained to me that the Mahadeva this was how the Mahadeva would transfer cosmic knowledge and understanding into the child. Okay, so we as humans, when we nature our children, we use our words, right? This is a different type of communication here. When we are being cradled by the divine, right? It's not through physical words that we receive our messages necessarily, right? We're just able to put those messages into words. But the Mahadeva is literally nurturing you through different means of I don't know. It's a different mean of communication. I can't even explain it really myself because I'm still trying to fully understand it myself. But it's a different type of communication that you receive through the divine, right? And it's giving to you wisdom beyond your years, right? nurturing you, take care of you, because no matter what species you are, when you are an infant, you have no other choice but to depend on others around you. Okay? And this card right here popped up Monday. It literally signifies the divinely guided child with years beyond wisdom. We pulled that card on Monday. Cerebala is this card right here, which we pulled on Monday. Represents the divine child with wisdom beyond her years and encourages you to commit to your passionate inspirations and trust your inner voice. It highlights that purity and innocent truth holds fierce power, and even when others dismiss your ideas, your inner child possesses a direct line to the divine, destined for success. She embodies an old soul dwelling within, urging you to trust your deepest knowing and intuitive insight. So while the divine is pouring all this wisdom and knowledge into you, this is what's happening with the divinely guided. Those who have really dove in deep into their spirituality to fully understand what energy is and the many forms it can come in. The next thing it was showed was the baby being brought up to the chest and the head being laid on the baby's head. And when I was shown that, I felt great immense love. So, divinely guided, if you have been feeling like you have been ignored by the divine, understand that there are things in the background that have to play out. Understand, you are being lifted up into the bosom of the divine, whatever face that may be for you. And understand that the divine loves you dearly. Because if the divine didn't love you dearly, there would be no way you would have access to this deep of understanding of how energy works. Okay, so I just saw that page. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going through my notes, and this one deity right here want to be switching pages on me. I don't know. Deva Makali. Deva Makali is what they call her, is a powerful message about destruction, radical transformation, and fierce protection, often guiding you to let go of what no longer serves you to make a way for the new. So now I have a couple of things to say about this card. I'm going to give you guys the first thought. And I'm talking about this card right here with the baby on it. There is a difference. There is a great difference between physical destruction and spiritual destruction. Okay? 9 times out of 10, destruction will happen, and out of destruction will come something new, right? Not a lot of time, all the time. Whether that thing is new, if it's good or not, right? When there is a spiritual destruction, okay? There's a difference between a physical destruction and a spiritual destruction. I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Okay, say like you out there, you live in the fast lane, you live in a fast life, whatever. You totally in yourself know. All right. And then you start getting nudged to, you're getting the calling that it's time to switch over to your north node. Okay? And either which way it go. When that switch happens, when you switch from one node to another, because even the earth does it during the precession of the equinox, when the poles shift. Remember, there go that spirit science, Thoth and Pals, when Thoth was meditating and they came in and they was like, Thoth, the poles are shifting. And Thoth was like, oh, the poles shift? And then they was like, what's the matter with your eyes? Because they were glowing, right? And he was like, I don't know. But Thoth said, right, he watched the poles shift 5 times. Watching the sun rise in the east, then the west, then the east, then the west, right? That's the pole shifts. So when you have a pole shift from your north node to from your south node to your north node, right? There's destruction, period. There's going to be destruction, period. Now, either you're going to destruct physically, or you're going to go through destruction physically or destruction spiritually. My destruction was spiritually, but when you go through a physical destruction, you are going to have to get to the lowest of low. That means you as a person are going to do everything in your power to sabotage and self-destruct physically. Now, what comes out of that self-destruction of physically depends on the person. But when that destruction happened physically, that's like, dang, you got to learn everything all over again, dang near. It's like you starting back like you a Neanderthal or something. But when you have a spiritual destruction, it's different, because when you have a spiritual destruction, you are not fighting against what the divine is trying to do. You're not fighting against the fact that the divine is molding you. You're not fighting against the fact that the divine is cuddling you like a baby, because a lot of us, when we self-destructed it, was like this. And the only reason why we got through it the way we did is because we allowed the divine to cradle us. It's almost like, okay, right now my life, and this is metaphorically speaking, right now my life is going so bad at the that the only thing I really can do is either self-destruct physically and have to do it the hard way, or self-destruct spiritually and allow the divine to take the wheel. And allow the divine to do what the divine wants to do, right? In order for us to be restored, for restoration, for the spirit to be restored. So it's like the divine cradles you like a baby, loved you, healed you, imparted into you all of this wisdom and knowledge beyond your years, sat you back down when you was ready and put you to work. So at this time, you
I took a lot of money from you. A lot.
Are recognizing the difference.
See?
I'm sorry, my YouTube was on right now. You are recognizing the difference between different types of destructions. Now, last month it was a real thing about learning when to rest, when to take action, and when to make peace, right? So this month, Divinely Guided is learning to recognize the differences between destruction. And because destruction is destruction, right? But you have to look at it from a physical and a spiritual point of view. What type of destruction it is. Because if you fully recognize what type of destruction it is, you're going to fully recognize whether to rest, make peace, or take action. And that is when you really start moving strategically and unlike these other people, because then you're not moving in your ego, right? It is a time to face your fears, purge negativity, and embrace strength and courage with the understanding that destruction is a necessary part of creation. You may need to be ruthless, cut ties, and purge your life of old habits or limiting beliefs to achieve liberation and truth. She represents the clearing of old structures, beliefs, obstacles, and which is essential for new growth and rebirth. Supreme protection from the Divine Mother who stands against all that obstructs your fulfillment. So, it's no mystery. I tell people all the time. When the Divine called me, right? Because I grew up in Baptist, and they was always talking about the story how Judas betrayed him, and one of the disciples, Jesus told one of the disciples he was going to deny him 3 times. The rooster was going to croak 3 times, right? So how that was explained to me was, us as humans, God will come to you, knock on your door. Are you ready yet? No, I'm not ready. Okay, I'll be back. Second time, here comes the Divine, knock on your door. Are you ready? No, I'm not ready. But see here, my favorite number is 3. So 3 things, okay, it's time to make a decision. So on the 3rd time, the Divine knocked on my door. I ain't coming back again. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. So the divine will only move for those who will allow the divine to do what the divine do. It's just like you can't ask the divine to take care of a situation and still decide to take matters into your own hands. No. You can ask the divine to do something for you and release it to the divine, but take steps to move forward, yes. So some people, when I tell people, oh, I cut off everybody. I cut off everybody. And they look at me like, you cut off everybody. Didn't you say you got children? Yeah, I got two. A boy and a girl. My daughter, she just turned 21, and my son just turned 19. When the divine told my ass to get on somewhere because my family was trying to do some dirty things for some money, I got on. I dropped everything. I had sugar gliders that I was providing for, so much crystals and so many decks of cards I had to leave behind, all my clothes, my house, everything I left behind. And then they was like, well, do you talk to any of your family? I'm like, didn't I tell you I cut them off? I ain't talked to my family in years. My daughter, she is a karmic child to me. This was revealed too, because a lot of us chosen are dealing with karmic family members, including children, karmic partners, karmic bosses, just people being karmic, followed us in from our previous life into this life. And I'm like, yeah, I cut her off. They be like, dang, why you sound so ruthless towards your own child? You don't know the horrible things my own child was wishing against me. And if you standing in my way of being with the divine, oh, you gotta go. I'm not choosing anything or anyone over my ancestors or the divine. I don't care if you friend or foe. You get the snip, snip. So, all right. Blue Tara. Let's get to Blue Tara here. You are most definitely in your divine feminine energy. Okay? Signifies the fierce, productive protection of the Buddhist deity Tara, embodying the swift removal of energies like violence and anger and dark magic. This came out too on Monday. She provides protection against harm, dark spells, and negative forces, filling you with her potent energy to transform negative states. Okay, so back to the story. And this does apply to the collective, because I know you guys had to get rid of some of these energies too. All right, you know that some of these energies are doing some horrible things and using some horrible tactics to try and take you down. for money. But money nevertheless. Why it's always got to be about some bitch ass money? But you have stepped into the part of the divine feminine, right? That embodies whatever divine feminine used to subscribe to, okay? You have stepped into the energy of I'm gonna make sure I protect myself against these people by any and all means necessary. Because for one, with the new paradigm shift, right? When things shift, things become different because see, the divine can switch up and change up and use anybody and anyone as it pleases. So these people thinking that they magic, right, is what is it called? It's just it, right? When somebody perfect a spell, right, it's just it. It's written in stone, right? It can't change, right? What these people didn't realize and recognize was that, yeah, it took the divine some time to figure out the back doors to these spells, right? But the divine figured out the back door to these spells. What's happening, collective, is the divine is giving you the wisdom on how to combat this magic that these people are doing. And half of y'all don't even understand that's what's happening. We just, dang, is that why I did that? Yeah, because the divine will tell you to do something in your conscious and you just do it. And then you don't understand why? The divine, that's why. But these people thought that they had perfected things, right? Oh, the spell is 100% foolproof. Can't nothing go wrong. Until the day it went wrong, right? Until the day the divine sent somebody who was endowed with the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of how to combat that type of energy. This is why it's so important to understand energy. So what these people don't understand is, with paradigm shifts, when shifts happen, destruction comes and things are reborn, right? What they don't understand is they magic don't work no more because of the paradigm shift. The divine has decided, okay, I'm going to do things differently. Yeah, you was able to do some bippity boppity boo, right? You was able to do some bippity boppity boo and do some fuck shit to get in and get this and get that and get this and get that. I caught you. I saw you. Now I had to refine things and find the loopholes to what you have done and get this information out to my children so they could start putting this in motion. And what's happening is that's what's happening. We are starting to take the knowledge that was endowed within us and spreading it. We spread it in our daily lives when we speak, and we spread it in our spiritual lives when we sleep. But collectively, all three of these cards is giving me the energy of just immense love from the divine to the collective. And this was part 1 of this reading. I will see you over in part 2.